after the first diagnosis, I got back to somewhat of a normal, what I thought was my normal life. Back to the craziness of work and the kids going to school and trying to get to sporting events and all these things that I had actually taken for granted before my diagnosis. And when things started to feel normal again, just as we were kind of getting back in the groove of that crazy, wonderful, normal life, I discovered another lump. And it was actually a month before my 2-year anniversary of my initial diagnosis. And, you know, to be honest, this time I kind of shrugged it off. I thought, it just can't be cancer. It can't be. It's not coming back until I'm in my 50s. You know, I just really couldn't believe that it could be that. And I was having some, you know, scar tissue issues and things under my arm at that point. So I just kind of thought, oh, it's got to be just from the surgeries. So it took me a while to make the appointment this time. And I don't know if in the back of my mind I knew that it was cancer and that was what was dragging my feet to get in, but then it became metastatic breast cancer, and I have it now with my lymph nodes and liver. It was terrifying. I was panic struck. I actually experienced my first panic attacks, which I never had had. And I couldn't believe this was my reality, that I could be facing this a second time, when we had fought and done so much the first time that it just couldn't be real. But then you just accept it. You have to just accept it, and you just have to make the best of your diagnosis. And so I try not to stay in this point of being sad or mad or angry at where I am right now, because I have to live my life and I have to get out and live it every single day. And if I stay in that moment of feeling sorry for myself, I'm gonna miss so many opportunities. So I quickly just tried to kind of brush those feelings somewhat to a side, because I do have young children that I have to live for, and they are my motivation to get up every day, and they are my motivation to live my life to the fullest and take care of myself and try to be here for as long as I can. I fortunately and unfortunately knew actually 2 women that had stage 4 breast cancer. One, I didn't necessarily know it was metastatic breast cancer. I didn't know that was the term for it. And she was also very young and actually passed away at age 41, but had a very long fight with it. And then more closely to home, I had a friend that, a girlfriend's sister, that also went through it and passed away at age 38. And that one hit closer to home. And that's where I learned a little bit more about what metastatic breast cancer meant. But truthfully, I didn't know until sitting in this seat. I have this ribbon on that is actually indicating of the metastatic breast cancer diagnosis. And I think the misconception is that people think it is just a pink ribbon. And it's not. And that metastatic, I didn't know that either until being diagnosed, that it has its whole own ribbon to represent what we as metastatic patients are going through. And it's much more colorful than just a pink ribbon. And it does need, the awareness needs to be there. That's one thing, is it's not talked about. You think, you know, hear all sorts of different things about breast cancer constantly, and it is always pink, and all these breast cancer awareness, you know, support groups and all these things that are going on in the community, and it's wonderful. And we're so grateful for that. But there does need to be more about metastatic breast cancer, and that in stage 4, and how many people do live with that every day. You don't realize either how many people are living with a terminal illness.